Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Oh, still early over here in good old Texas, but figured we'll try to get one in this morning. What you're looking in front of you is the TBM 900 by Hot Start. I know a lot of you guys have already seen this airplane. Streamed multiple times, but um, this is just a really fun airplane to fly. Probably one of the most realistic engine simulations of the PT6 that I've ever seen personally, and um, very capable airplane. Definitely, I'm not sure. I mean, it says it's six. I mean, it seats six total, including the flight crew. But I don't know, $3 million. Realistically, I don't know. Apparently these are selling pretty good. So, all right. So today we're gonna take a little trip from Terrell, Texas to Galveston, like 220 miles roughly.
Aural warning, okay.
And I believe the flight plan calls for 23,000 feet. And
Pause system test. Okay.
yeah, so should be pretty interesting. Let's see. Actually, see if I can get this reoriented. Uh, so the aircraft basically comes with its own um, maintenance simulation. So I mean, it's like a simulation within a simulation. So all of the normal duties that you will perform on, your average, your run-of-the-mill private aircraft, you have to do here. So, let's see, don't you do it. All right, let's go ahead and chalk that up. All right, cool. So, very, very, I mean, I can't express enough. I've already dropped like $1 million in this thing. I think something happened with my controls or something. Standby alternator, no idea how that broke. So this is the maintenance manager basically. You can go through all the components in the engine, and somehow I broke a standby alternator. No idea how that happened. So we'll replace that. And we might as well just go through it here to make sure everything else is kosher. Crash bar is not down. No, it is not. So crash bar is basically battery power switch on your another aircraft. That's what it's called. So jump back in here. Electrics, access. Everything should be new. I have no idea how I broke a standby alternator. I haven't even used this thing, so it's kind of weird. Let's see. That's good. Oxygen's good. Engine. So yeah, that's good. So for example, like a new compressor section to replace that, it's like 250,000 to replace that. Bunch of bunch of different components, bearings, things like that that wear out over time. Um, Airframe managers where you can create um, basically a different instance of this aircraft, so you can have different tail numbers, things like that, payloads. So that's what kind of, I don't know where we want to head to right now. So I'm just going to do a random 2/3 load. Let's see, move that first person there. So let's see, cargo 110 pounds in the back. All right, looks good. So jump over here. That's when we'll start removing all of the covers and the caps and everything from our engine. Fuel, let's see, we'll bring this up to about 90 gallons on both sides. Nine gallons on both sides. Make sure we put the fuel cap back on. Apparently, if you don't do that, I haven't experienced it, but apparently, if you don't do that, it'll leak when you take off. So make sure you do that. And door, we're going to close this door. Close that passenger door and remove the chocks. All that's closed, so cool. Hopefully we don't break anything this time. All right, so if looking at the flight deck, extremely very ergonomic. Not a whole lot going on. Now the throttle mechanism is a little unique to this airplane. Your normal turboprops, especially like anything in your PT6 trim, you got your throttle, of course, then your condition levers, or your prop levers, prop angle levers, and your condition levers. And I'm going to butcher this name, but the company Daher or Daher or something like that, the guys behind the Cicada, they implemented all of that in this one lever. So very ingenious design, and you guys will see how that works here shortly. So let's see. Go ahead and source battery. We don't need lights right now. There we go. Okay, let's come up. Oh, all right. So since we can use the GPU, but we're going to be cheap today, and no one wants to spend $50 an hour. So we'll just try to hurry up and get this thing fired up, and then we'll work on our flight plan once we get the engine started up. All right, so manual override control should be backward. That's checked. Throttle, cut off, check. Strobes on. Aux boost pump fuel switch on. Clear that. Let's see, propeller area clear, make sure clear. Yep, it's good there. All right, and start switch, engage. And let's see here. 13%. And we're watching the EGT there, make sure everything's coming up. Okay, looks like we're gonna get a nice cool start. Technically, what you're supposed to do is monitor the start time, start your timer and monitor start time, but that. Okay, looks like that's. Alright, looks like the engine's fired up. Throttle, low, idle. where it is now. Check start automatically off. Alright, source selector, battery. Yeah, we're on the battery, so that's good. Okay, everybody, of course, is clear. Alright, so remember when I was mentioning the throttle configuration, it's a little different on this airplane. It's like an H configuration. So on the left hand side, you got your low idle, high idle, and then you'll click it over, and that's when you go into like flight idle and reverse and all that fun stuff. So it's actually pretty ingenious. Pretty ingenious. So we'll bring it up to high idle here. Let the props catch up. And then we'll click it over to the flight range and bring that down to like flight idle. And while that's doing that, we'll go ahead and put our boost pump and fuel selector to auto. Fuel selector should automatically flip flop our tanks from left to right to make sure we don't have any kind of fuel imbalance. So we're good there. And so we'll go ahead and hit our generator switch to main. You can check the amperage there. We'll check through that. Alright. Generator on the main. And we'll verify your load there. Yeah, so yep, it's that. So we'll go and then we'll go and check our standby generator. Double check the load there, make sure everything's good. Alright, now back to main. Okay, AP and trims are on. And we'll just click through the rest of that. Bleeds auto, air conditioning auto. Let's see. Pressurization mode switch should be auto. Should be auto. Let's see. Control selector auto. Just hot airflow distributor checked. Standby instruments checked. Landing field elevation. Let's see. Oh well, we won't know that. Haven't done that yet because we haven't dialed in our flight plans. We'll do that shortly. Alright, inertial separation. Inertial separator switch on. So inertial separator, basically a bypass through the intake side of the engine that slings ice and stuff out. So you're not bringing ice chunks into the compressor section of your engine, and it also helps mitigate pod ingestion as well. So we want to try to leave that on during the ground, stuff like that. All right, and let's see. So that should be, yep, inertial separator on. Okay, so, okay. Now I don't know, I want to say this is mimicking the G1000. I don't know though if you can enter Victor Airways in this thing, which is the ALPA. Pull up the old trusty ALPA flight planner, and so we're going direct to 10. Oh, so it has this, looks like it has this cutting over to 10B, which those of you flying the DFW often, that's normally the initial approach fix for like the runway 3, 5 left, all the northern facing runways. Well, I say the northern facing runways, but most of them. Let's see, so Tambi, then from there south to Donnie. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and type in Tambi for right now, but we'll probably just go direct. Donnie. Alright, direct Donnie. And let's see, I'm crossing over the Houston VOR. Did I mess that up? I think I did. It's India Alpha Hotel. Oh, it wants to. Oh, there we go. Humble Houston. There we go. Let's see. Then hub, and then Kilo Golf Romeo Lima. Oh, GLH. Clear. Golf Lima Hotel. Oh, where's it? Oh, GLS. Oh my gosh. I'll wake up eventually. There we go. Oh, finally. Alright. Let's see. Flight plan there. System. See, so. Landing field elevation. It's only 4 feet. Back. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. What's our altimeter setting? 2904. Okay. All right, go back to the checklist. I think for the most part, everything's done as far as getting this thing ready to taxi. So like basic stuff, taxi light on, passenger briefing, blah, blah, blah. Park brake is required. Of course, off, but I'll call it as required. Nose full steering, checked. That's good. All right, cool. And we'll just assume we got clearance all the way up to our cruising altitude of 23,000 feet. Okay. All right, so looks like we're ready to go. Let's see, where's that stop at? All right, so one of the nuances with this airplane is, and by its design, um, it helps to have a key command set up for this thing that allows you to go past the stop to get into change the prop angle for something that's into a angle that's good for taxiing instead of it being stuck, at flight angle all the time. Let's see, engine, friction lock. No, that's not it. Cup holder. Nope, that's not it. which I want to say cabin AP would assume it would be under engine, but it's not. Let's see here. Start actuators. Let's see here. Which mine at one point was shift slash, but apparently it's not anymore. All right. Oh. Let's see. Actually, let me take a look real quick. Okay. All right, so yes, reverse toggle. There we go. Reverse, if I could spell. Reverse toggle. Yeah, it is shift backslash. For some reason, it's not. Hmm. Interesting.
Landing gear.
That chip magically works now.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Let's see.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Wow, really? Okay, let's see. Okay. That's totally what I just put. What? Hmm. Very odd. Yeah, we should be getting into the taxi reverse range, but for some reason we're not. Try another key command. And this has always worked. Literally always worked. Okay, this isn't making a whole lot of sense. Let's double check something real quick. Profile. And make sure my active profile matches up. And yeah, user profile. What in the world? Oh, this is awesome. This is freaking awesome. Go over here real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's first toggle. Yeah. Not sure what else it could be. No idea what else it could be. So yeah, technically we should be able to go into the beta reverse range, and it is not happening using the key commands. All right. Sure you guys can hear me just uselessly clicking the reverse toggle, hoping something will change. I just find that very odd that it's worked for pretty much as long as I've had this aircraft, and all of a sudden now it doesn't. I'm really puzzled as to why. Really puzzled as to why. The lockout tab. Okay. Let's see. Hmm. Very weird. Okay, we're at fly idle. Should be able to hit the stops and bring it down. And yeah, that's not happening. Not happening at all. Um, hmm. Well, the only thing I need to do is reload this thing, but in order to do that, let's see, we have to shut everything down. So let's go ahead and AC off, bleed off, and yes. And crash bar off. Oh, the joys of simming. Gonna try this, and if this doesn't work, we'll just make a detour to the old Airfoil's lab, King Air. All right. Let's see. Customized. Oh, that's right. That's right. All right. Resume flight. All right, let's load up something else. We'll load up the Skyhawk real quick and see. Then we'll jump back into the TBM, see if that works. Of course, we can always take this to Galveston, but it'd be nice to get there a little quicker. And it's going to give me all kinds of crazy warnings. And that's one of the I guess downsides of we all want these high fidelity simulations and things like that. But I mean, let's just send cancel. Let's go away. It just pops out of nowhere. All right. I mean, I mean, the reality is it's really difficult to try to implement some of this stuff. Like trying to, I mean, simulate all that. I mean, it's really difficult. So I mean, we really can't be upset when things just don't go the way we want them to go, or we paid X amount of dollars, so this should work, blah blah blah. And there's a lot of variables. Just that depends on other things to work, and those things depend on other things to work, and so on and so forth. Till a lot of times it's just impossible to have everything working 100% of the time, especially when it's something like this that's being actively developed. Let's try to push this thing back a little bit. Parking brakes on? Yeah, they're on. This is a really nice feature that not many GA developers add. I think the AirFoilLabs has this, but at the moment it is not functioning. So yeah, we're going to have to start this thing up, which I'm not. So let's see if we are able to get it to work, at least add a little bit of payload in here. Let's see, okay, good. Don't have anything, any charts or anything. Close all this. Fire all this up. Maybe, just maybe, it'll work. Cause I'm like I said, I'm not exactly sure what else it could be, because we have reverse toggle set up as a keybind, so that's not it. But maybe we'll try this and see if it works.
Aural warning, okay.
All right, so brakes. That does help. See.
TOS system test. Okay.
Guess we'll wait for the rest of this to come up. All right. Oh, so it's dry motor. So basically what we're doing, we're just spinning the prop and spinning the engine over, try to get some cooler air blowing in there. And to try to prevent us from having a hot start. So once again, one of the joys of dealing with turbine aircraft. So we'll kind of watch it here. I think we might be all right. Probably just gonna spin a little bit longer than normal. Yeah, pulling it there. There we go. All right, there's that ITT coming up. Good. There we go. Okay. Alright, see if we can bring this thing into... Yes, I'm quite aware. Okay, let's try. Very interesting. Still no dice. Alright, yeah, we're not going to waste any more time trying to figure that out, because, yeah. Alright, let's see. Awesome airplane, really nice airplane. I do enjoy flying it when I'm able to fly it, but, you know, like I said, there's sometimes there's just a lot of dependencies that has to happen at a particular time, and sometimes they don't happen, and it is frustrating at times, but you know, it is what it is. We'll troubleshoot it later and hopefully be able to try to get it figured out, because I really do like this airplane. All right, so let's cool off chocks. That's good. That's good. That's good. And there is sort of persistence. Well, look, there is persistence in this air with this aircraft that comes with it. So if you don't put the covers on, then you could get stuff in there, things like that. So I mean, there's just the little things that really make this thing enjoyable, except when you aren't able to fly it. Bit of a bummer. So I guess this has turned into a King Air stream. Let's see if I can. And we'll just go ahead and do an update here. King Air 350. Yeah. Oh, what time is it yet? Oh, we're still good. Yep, I mean, I'm definitely bummed out. I mean, it's not even, you know, you can't even sit there and say, oh, it's, you know, oh, hot start, you know, this and this and that, or whatever. It's not, you know, it's not, I don't think it's the developer at all. You know, as you're installing things, doing the different things in the sim, sometimes one breaks the other or something like that. So just a matter of troubleshooting, which the reverse toggle command is actually what Hot Start uses as the stop between that. Um, oh, that clicking's frustrating. Um, Double check mine. Almost there. Here we go. I'm really curious as to what causes that clicking. No idea. All right, let's go ahead and do a quick walk around. Make sure everything's good to go. Make sure all around here. All right, let's Now, like I said, there is a pushback um, simulation on here, but it doesn't work very well at the moment. It puts you inside the air. It does something weird that I hadn't been able to figure out yet. So it's been reported. Hopefully they get that lined out. So we're kind of gonna have to figure some stuff out as far as getting out of here. Okay, so go ahead and first of all, let's double check, see where our weights are looking like. Haven't, let's see. Loads good, field preset, that's about right. See how much fuel we got, that should be plenty. Plenty. All right. Here. Now I know for the longest I was using this, so or did it resize itself? I don't know. But for some reason, if you click it from here initially, it blows it up and you can't hardly read it. So that size there is really good to work with. Okay. See, should be. Oh. Wonder if you can save your own little presets in this thing. It'd be kind of nice. Because I know me personally, it's gone. I don't know if it's like a pet peeve or what, but it really bugs me to have all these lights on. You fire everything up, and all these lights are on. All right, cool. So, oh. Like everything's about ready to go off right now. All right, so clear these. Beacon light on, nav light on. All right, you're clear on the right. And left right engine. Okay, ITT, looks like it's coming down. Oil pressure and temperature look good. I can get out of that. Alright, we'll go ahead and bump up the fuel condition lever. And turn on that right generator. Make sure we're clear on the left. Fire up that left engine. Normally about 13-14%. Plus or minus, give or take, something like that. Alright, there we go. Yeah, watch the ITT. And like I said, I don't know if the engine modeling on this thing is hot start level as far as fidelity and study levelness and all that, but X-Plane's is already miles ahead of P3D's stock engine model. I'm kosher with that. There we go. All right, yeah, I'm kosher with that. So, all right. So we got both generators on. Oxygen's armed. Let's see. So inverters are on. Avionics master power is on. And EFIS on. Turn this guy on. Fucking like not. Mess it up. That's coming on. Get all these old school radios on. Honestly, I would, if it was me, I would just leave that off because I don't think I've been on a flight in the past 2 years, 3 years that I've used the NDB. If you can even find one in the States, I know I can still tune into a lot of the old school AM radio stations just for some music. But I mean, now you got Google Play and all that now, so you really don't even use it for that anymore. It's kind of kind of sad to say, but that's the reality. I mean, no one. I mean, why would you? I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's see. Let's see, 2994. I mean, if you have to, I mean, I don't know. You might be. I really can't think of where you would end up, or you would need one. Maybe if you're in a pinch or something like that, and you're in IMC, and there's absolutely no other nav aids to use. The airport doesn't have an ILS system at all, localizer, VOR, nothing. And you're low on fuel. There's nowhere else you can go, and just so happens to be this, lowly old NDB out in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, you might shoot one then, and the approach and NDB approach then, but I don't even know if they teach that anymore. All right, so that's that. Sand 23,000 feet. We're gonna stick with that. So, all right, there, and then turn rudder boost on. All that fun jazz. Then we got our flight plan, which, like I said, this isn't. I don't think this is true to live. I'm not sure. I'm looking. I know most of the ones I've seen did not have this. So Kilo Tango Romeo Lima. No, we'll just not do that. Okay. So Kilo Golf Lima Hotel. Did I get it right this time? I hope so. If not, we're going wherever that is. Okay, departure airport. Wait, departure. Let's see. Let's see. Variable at 3, so I mean, heck, we might as well. Let's see, we might as well just take. Yeah, might as well just take 17. That in there. Oh, let's see. Where do you want us going? The OPA can be, which I guess, but we'll just probably go direct to. And Donnie. Let's see, Houston. Then HUB. And probably do like 1-8. Kind of see how things go when we get there, and I just throw a random number in there. No biggie. Alright, so looks like we're about ready to go. Then our bleed air valves on. We'll leave those on. We'll leave the environmental too low for right now. Let's see. Of course, engine anti-ice is on to mitigate FOD ingestion. Yeah, we'll try to ease out of here. So, pushbacks. I don't know. There we go. Well, I'm having enough room to go that way. No, probably not. Yeah, I probably just crashed into the code machine. That's cool. Totally fine. But as I said, it does have the little pushback simulation deal there, but I tried it and I ended up in places I did not want to end up. So now you can jump into map mode and kind of scoot yourself over, whatever you got to do to not hit things. But alright, one thing I did not do, let's go over here in performance. I think this airfield is 5,203 feet. Runway heading, wow, I would say 170-ish. Engine TI is off. 4,000 oiling required. We'll probably throw in a taste of flaps and give ourselves a little bit more of a margin. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll do flaps for approach. Throw that on there, that off, the auto feather. Pita he on, lighting lights on, that's off. And we'll go ahead and turn on those fasten seatbelt signs, make sure. But honestly, I'm pretty sure they're in the back. They're in the back, not paying attention to what's going on. Honestly, I probably wouldn't either. Alright, so looks like we're about ready to go. Pressurization is pretty good for right now. Alright, let's go ahead and take the active. Oh, and I'll show you guys something here in a minute. For those of you who are using the SciTech throttles and getting the throttle levers into ground fine or that beta pitch region is a little difficult. Stocks, you actually have to change your curves, your throttle curves. Those of you who haven't changed those yet, they do help out quite a bit. Alright. I think we're all set there. And like I said, normal I'll go ahead and hit sync and oh no, no auto throttle, no. We will not be doing that. So FYI, don't hit the toggle button on your yoke. Alright, so let's go ahead and get here. So fuel control levers up and go ahead and start takeoff power there.
Auto feather lights on. Airspeed alive. 60 knots.
Go.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
You're up. a little bit of trim. And flaps up.
Flaps indicates up.
So, as we were talking about earlier, this flight plan called for us to cut over west to Tanby, then south. So, and we're not going to do that. So the first thing now, let's see if I can do this and it not completely feathering onto me. Yep, and it does that. So, another thing I did not mention. So when you guys fire this thing up, at least try to manipulate your prop levers a little bit, because if not, and you click on it, it just immediately goes to full feather. And I've never done that or seen that done in on takeoff and in in such a crucial phase of flight in real life. But I'm sure it's not conducive to anything. So just do yourself a favor, and it's nothing's gonna crash you or anything, but because I mean it's like this, So, so I mean it's not gonna totally ruin your flight immediately the next one to sim, but go ahead and do that because this is quite frustrating. You try to bring your prop angles down a little bit, bring your RPMs down a little bit, and all of a sudden just immediately goes straight feather. Unless you have enough levers and you can play in your own set up your throttles or whatever for prop RPM adjustment. So, all right, let's see, heading mode. All right, let's see here. At some point, what I would like to do is pull this guy up, and we'll do direct Donnie. Let's see. Then maybe we can get away with hitting this nav button real quick. There we go. There we go. Trim this thing out a little bit more. Yeah, looks like she's straightening out right there. You can kind of use this to kind of help get yourself lined out. And let's see. Alright. Now what we can do is bring this guy, bring our bleed air back to normal. And then what we'll do, we'll bring our torque up a little bit to about 80-ish, 90-ish. And without me doing anything as far as pitch, our vertical speed should come up. So we're going to have to adjust our trim accordingly. Get the airplane retrimmed. It sounds really weird, but pitch equals airspeed and throttle equals altitude. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Then another thing that kind of stuck out to me with this airplane is if you engage the autopilot, you guys can watch here when I do this. If you engage the autopilot, let's see, your trim runs away. Even though we're relatively trimmed out, it just takes off, and that's not 100% accurate. Now, if you engage the autopilot and you don't have the airplane trimmed, yes, it does do a lot of weirdness to line itself out, but it lines itself out. Well, regardless of the trim, regardless of the trim condition, seems as if you engage the autopilot, immediately it's like a, freaking 10-degree nose up, but it lines itself out. So just keep that, keep that in mind when you're flying. So if you're not, so for example, if you're not trimmed out and you engage, as it is now, if you engage the autopilot, that large, that 10-degree pitch is amplified. So if you're not trimmed out already, then it goes all over the freaking place. So make sure you're trimmed out as best you can before engaging the autopilot. But once the autopilot's engaged, I mean, it flies great. So I'm not sure. I mean, I don't have any time in the 350 King Air, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't do that. Could be wrong. I don't know. Could be wrong. Alright, so everything looks pretty good so far. And as you can see, my frame rates are much better. Shout out to High Five Sim with their high performance textures, because man, that was good night. It was awful. Let's see. So yeah, so far looking pretty good. Now, if you manipulate the your prop RPM, it performs as expected. It doesn't just immediately go. So that's normally one of the things I try to do when I'm getting set up is I'll just real quick, click it, move it around a little bit, and but you know, it's kind of one of those things you kind of have to think about. Let's see, let's go back to here. Yep. Engine clearing. So that's basically what we did in the TBM. No, I take that back. But yeah, so going back to the TBM. Once again, I really do like the airplane, so I'm not, I'm not faulting it at all for the issue we had this earlier today. But so say for example, you open up the throttles, bring them up to low idle. Well, apparently it introduces fuel into the system, so you'll have a lot of excess fuel residue, which means you need to perform engine clearing, which pretty simple. I mean, it's the same thing as dry motoring. So you want to turn your ignition off and just motor the engine. So you'll spin the engine for, I think it's like a max of 15 seconds, clear it out, get out of it, abort the start, give your starter time to cool, and try it again. And more often than not, it clears itself out. And that's with any turboprop you'll run into. And if you get excess fuel in there, you'll get an issue with uncontrolled combustion, and airflow tends to flow in unpredictable ways when you have that. So causes a lot of problems in your internals, and it's not something you want to deal with. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, not something you want to deal with. So if you get the little notification there, which those notifications do help, since sometimes things happen inadvertently. You may bump something on your setup, and of course, real life, you don't have those notifications. Hey, you have excess fuel, residue, whatever. Please perform dry mode. I mean, you're not going to have that, but more often than not, you'll know. Hey, I accidentally, cracked the throttles or something like that, or something weird, and dry motor. You got to dry motor the engine or whatever you need to do, and I mean, you'll know all that. So when you really don't need it, but at the same time, this isn't real life. This is a sim. So try not to take it too seriously. Enjoy it for what it is. Just like this thing here. It's a great sim, but it does not come without its issues. There are a few issues with it, but hopefully you get lined out. Which, I mean, everybody's reporting it on the forum, so they know. But it's kind of. But I mean, as far as functionality, it doesn't really hinder. I mean, you could jump in the thing and make a flight with it. So I mean, it's kind of all that matters. But let's do this, because I want to see. So let's see. What was it? CQY. Oh no, that's not it. Let's go here. Let's see. Humble VOR, good info. Alright, so let's tune to the Humble VOR. So we'll jump to our nav1 radio. And let's see, we'll do 116.60. So active. And we'll turn on our DME. Channel 1, I think. There we go. So It gives us a good idea of what our ground speed's looking like. So it's like 186 knots. So that's not bad. Once we get to cruising altitude and get lined out here, it should go up considerably. But that's a really good way of getting an idea of what your speed's looking at, which I'm sure with all the aircraft with GPS navigation now, I should be able to find that anyway. All right. Yep, so it looks like our airspeed's coming up. Yep. The CFR. Alright, so RMI looks like it's functioning. One thing I have noticed, not just in the flight sim world, but in real life in general. I mean, heck, I'm guilty of it myself because you get spoiled. I mean, you can't help it. You got all these, all this new technologies and touchscreen interfaces, freaking flight plans and all that fun stuff. Basic VOR navigation is not something we tend to do very often anymore. Especially, I know when this thing first dropped, and I've always heard of VOR navigation in the King Air is really easy to do. Um, Especially when you have an advanced HSI and DME equipment and an RMI. I mean, basically, just pretty much what we did, but like the humble VOR. So we may track outbound on, we may catch the, I don't know, the 180 degree radial or something outbound on the DFW VOR, and then from there we'll switch over to humble and track that. And I mean, that's pretty much it. And we have like the Collins set was really nice. Collins, who else is out there? There's this outfit called oh man, Sandell or something, I don't know. But you just dial in your VOR frequencies here. You have your standby set up there, and then if you're if you're feeling froggy, you can put an additional 4 VORs on this side. So as you start to cross that cone of confusion, when you cross the VOR, you can normally wait till you get out of that, but once you get out of that, you can tune to your outbound radial and fly your outbound radial just fine. But I don't know. I mean, it's like we have VORs now, but it's almost VORs are there to facilitate the GPS based navigation that we use all the time, like the flight management units. They still on the back end tune to like a VOR and fly that. But I mean, as far as I mean, maybe there's a lot of general, maybe of course I'm sure there's still some general aviation out there that still uses them. I know as far as from flight training perspective, I mean, they still use them all the time. But I mean, once you get past that, once you get your IFR ticket, it's, it's pretty much, I mean, everything pretty much has a either Garmin 430 or KLN 94 or 94B or something like that, or something, and I mean, heck, your phone. I mean, it's not really, whatever. Um, used for navigation nowadays, and I mean, it's like this. It's almost like a, I don't know, dying art or something. I don't know. I mean, like I said, they still train it. You'll do your DME arcs and all that, and pass that check ride, and after that, you may, other than a biennial or a flight review, whichever you call it, I really don't look at it anymore. Even myself, I know I don't. I mean, between like a 530, something like that. I mean, pretty much, or set a hold or something like that, or I think I take that back. I think I did a VOR approach. Maybe a month ago, I think, give or take. And even then, you're just like, man, I'm rusty, because you used to use these things all the time, and now you don't have to use them all the time, and sometimes you forget to ident and all that fun stuff. The autocom off. I hadn't even played with this. DME. Audio speaker. As for ground comms. Let's see. Should be able to ident it. $97.11 miles. About 21 minutes out. 273 knots there, ground speed, so that's not bad. But even then, another thing you got to take into consideration as well, especially if you're using VORs as like a sole means of navigation, is unlike GPS where you'll hit that 0 mark, this will never actually be 0 since it tracks your distance away from the DME equipment, which is co-located next to the VOR. So this will never actually be 0. We'll probably see that here in a little bit when we cross it. And I'll try to keep that dog back in the doghouse there. Yaw damper is effective, but sometimes your controls kind of hinder it there, so. And you do bleed a few knots in airspeed when you, like if you're uncoordinated like this or something. And you're stuck like that, you bleed off a little bit of airspeed. Maybe like a knot or two, but you do bleed airspeed. So we'll scooch it back in there, just like that. There we go. Scooched over a little bit. Looks like we're almost there. Guess we'll do that. 312. That didn't make sense though. Didn't make sense at all. But it's under, I mean, it's only 222 miles, I believe. Unless we're tracking something else, and then it's talking about doing a DME arc and all that. I may just delete that. And execute that. Then we'll take Quack, direct 2 from there. That's weird. And select 300 some miles. I don't know. That's weird. Hence is another reason why you'd want to. A lot of times you'll get things like that where, you know, you're using a GPS or using some other means of navigation. Sometimes you have to employ two, kind of make a comparison and see what makes sense, because you might have a waypoint that's named the same or something like that, or I mean, the possibilities are endless, but you'll just like, that shouldn't be 8,000 miles, or you know, if the distance to that waypoint is equal or greater than the total distance between the 2 points in which you're flying to, there's something probably off, or you may have accidentally dialed in another waypoint or something like that. Let's see. Have zoom out. Ooh. I don't know if you can kind of clean this up a little bit. Clear radar. There we go. Alright, so yeah, well, don't want that, don't want that. Airports, don't want that. See. Uh-oh, did I break it? Ah, so a warm-up period. Yeah, I mean, I can see why, you know, you may want to just shove a 750 a 750 in here. I mean, I get that, because I'm looking at it, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I get that. This I have dealt with this Collins unit in the past, and I mean, even when it's programmed correctly in the real world, it's still not a fun unit to deal with, much less this. And yeah, I get that. I get that, guys. So those of you who are, you know, oh, how did I read it in a forum? Shoehorning a GTN 750 and everything. Yeah, that I totally get. I totally get. Ooh, excuse me. Because, yeah, in fact, I might end up looking at doing that myself. If there's something that could blank this out, since you won't be needing that, right? So if there's something that could blank this out, and GTN 750 right here. Totally cool with that. Now you won't have the radar depiction, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The radar, I don't think I found an accurate radar simulation yet in X-Plane, which not saying that it doesn't exist or anything like that, but it's just I haven't seen one yet. So I don't know. Let's see, like it doesn't even have your destination, I mean your distances or anything, so you have no idea how close you are. Huh. Heck, we might be. We very well may be using VORs in this one because this is not. Let's see. So we're about 58 miles from the Houston or Humble VOR. Then from there, we're going to be tuning to Hub, which is Hobby. And that's 117.1, which has DME, and it's also a high altitude VOR. So we'll tune that. Let's see here. Actually, we'll do that. We'll do this here. Let's see. Let's do 111. 117.10. There we go. Put that back on Houston. And so once we cross Houston, it'll be 18 miles to Hobby, and then from there we'll have 32 miles into, I was about to say Gulf Shores. Goodness gracious. Galveston. There you go. That's it. That's the one we're going to. Galveston. So should be getting pretty close. Wait a minute, what was that? Yeah. I saw GLH somewhere, and I was thinking GLH for the airport code. And let's see, keep that rudder over just a little bit. Must be getting a wind change or something. Come back, just come back, come back. There we go. There we go. I didn't even turn on the prop sync because I'm looking at it. It's just they can kind of sync the props up pretty good yourself, but you can turn that on, and it helps with the noise a little bit. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. Seems to work okay without it. About 40 miles. 40 miles out, and then we'll start ascent. Cruise. On feather. Off. And let's see if we can find out the build elevation for, the ATIS info. Let's see, elevation 6 feet in Galveston. Here's an ILS approach, localizer approach, RNAV approach, GPS approach, longest paved runway, 6,001 feet. Man. Field balance, all feathers. Process required. Surface required. Just kind of going through this here. Radar standby. Touchdown. Yep. Maximum landing. Yep. After landing, ignition off. Yep. Yep. I mean, really nice checklist. Probably the best one I've seen for sure. Content, I like that. Over here in performance. Now, to me, this performance section here is freaking ingenious. Start trying to put in some of this data. Of course, this won't be 100% accurate, but it'll be close enough. Altitude, was it 13,100? And I don't know, we'll say it. I don't know. Let's do 13,100 there. All right, 6 feet elevation. Excuse me. Now, I'm not gonna lie. More often than not, you're gonna have your quote-unquote kneeboard is going to be a tablet. So you're gonna have something like this, or a flight planning tool like this. It may be for flight, Garmin Pilot, one of those, and so you're going to be able to enter all of this data, like it's going to be readily available to you. I'm just going to find the okay. Whoa, that's not right. Oh, it's even lower. Let's see, so 2981. Temperature 22 350 at 16, so it's coming out of the north. Oh, speed. Whoops. 16 knots. 350. Runway length. So 32 will probably be the runway we'll take. I'm just looking here. Mm. 350, so we might take 36 actually. We may take 36. Let's see, let's see. Alright, so 6,001 feet. And runway heading is going to be 360. Flaps up. Alright, and set markers. Alright. Alright, that's about right. That's about right. Alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and start. Start descent. And we'll start off with 12,000 feet. And head over here. Down a little further. Let's see here, and then okay. About to cross Houston here. Alright, so of course you can kind of see there, we never really dropped to zero as far as like our DME is concerned, so we can just flip this up to humble, or well, not humble, but hub. And I'll increase that vertical speed. So like I said, we're only 18 miles from hub, so we're going to be crossing that here in a little bit. Then 32 miles 32 miles, give or take, to Galveston, and we'll be probably do a visual into 3.6. Get both sides on there. Now, I haven't tried. I'll take that back. Actually, I did. I tried to walk, walk from the flight deck back to the cabin, and apparently you just fall through the aircraft and just fall, and it's pretty, pretty depressing to, you're falling and your aircraft's just continuing along as if nothing happened. We have some pretty decent views from the outside as well. Okay, alright, so I think, what was that, 2.9er? 981, that was the... If I can get the... What's this VTAR? Alright, so yeah, 35016. Alright, 2.9er 86. So down 286 there, then that'll give us an idea what we need to set up for our pressurization controller. What was it, 2.9er? So add to airport field elevation. Okay, so 2.9er, so we'll do 16. And we'll go like 1600. Come down here. Controller. Did something break? I think something broke. Ah, so I think I know what's happening here. Okay. So yeah, so apparently this isn't the most accurate of alright, can we just get to, yeah, because it's saying 320 miles. I know for a fact that's not accurate. Wait, what? 318 miles? Let's just double check the map and see if... Yeah, that's not very accurate at all. You see, runway 18, 300 and some odd miles, and yeah. Because technically what we could do to fly outbound was at 150, give or take, out of the hub VR, and that should get us there. Alright, so we're going to have to wing it as far as distance, because I have no idea. Let's see. Now what we could do, we can probably figure our distance from there, from the hub BOR to Galveston, and then that'll give us a good idea of where we should be at. But let's see here. Now it's like we're going in between layers here. And not 100% sure why that's reading 320 miles, but whatever. Or unless I did something, let's see. Yeah, know exactly what I did now. I know exactly what I did now. I know exactly what I did. Yep, exactly what I did. So, Kilo Golf Lima Hotel instead of Kilo Golf Lima Sierra. So, yeah, just FYI, make sure you double check yourselves, because that could have been disastrous. I'm thinking, like, there's no way. I mean, surely the avionics in this thing could not be that bad. There's no way it could be that bad. And thank goodness they're not. I'm that bad. So, wow. Alright, so we'll track this, and then once we get to the airport and site, we'll probably break off and do a downwind for 3-5 or something like that. I don't know. Okay. Now we're getting pretty close. Another discontinuity. Let's see, what is this for? It's Wayne. Ours procedure turn there. We don't want that. We'll get rid of that one too. It's a duplicate. And let's see. Let's see, and I believe those ceilings are like scatter clouds, 1100. Here's what we'll do. The heading mode. Let's see. For RNAV 36. Discontinuity. I know there's discontinuity. But how about executing that first? Or not? Let's see here, and put this back on nav mode. And we'll probably hold altitude right there. Let's see here. Bring the torque up just a little bit. Let's double check something real quick. Let's see, what was that? VR, tune F1. Heading mode. Make this left turn. Let's do this. So I should still be in heading mode. Let's track direct to that VOR. Of course. And course there. Oops. I'm hearing buffeting. I'm not sure if that's the wind changing or what. It's kind of weird. Not sure if you guys really saw what I did, so I wasn't 100% sure on my approach. So what we did here, we just went ahead and dialed in direct to that VOR. That's located in Galveston, the Victor Uniform Hotel. And I just tuned direct to that VOR. Oh yeah, we're getting a little bit of windage there. I believe that's the airfield in sight there. Alright, let's see here. Go ahead and turn those guys off. And we'll go ahead and bring our prop RPM up. Bleed air below. Yeah, bring the gear down about 8 miles out. I believe the
1,000 feet to minimums.
ceilings are about 1,100 feet. If I'm not mistaken. Flaps to approach.
Gear up.
That? Oh, yeah, I guess so. that's not your flaps. You're nice and trimmed out.
100 feet to minimums. Minimums.
Runway's a little wide. Oh. Lead off some of that airspeed. There we go. That's a little weird. Like taxiway on both sides or something like that.
50 feet. Props full.
Let's see if I can keep this thing straight. Alright, let's see.
40 knots.
Okay. And let's see if we can taxi. See if we can clear the active. Kinda. That is awkward. Wow. Really weird. Flaps up there. And see. Auto feather off. Let's see, strobe lights off. I don't know, find a hole here and stop. Alright, so it should be. We'll call that good. Okay, that's off. Okay. Oops. And Jenny ice off. Let's set the parking brake. And let's say cabin dump. We're gonna do that. Let's see if it's blaze off and turn off the hook. a mess there. And then let's see, avionics master off, inverters off. All right. Go ahead and kill the left and the right. Let's see. No idea what's that clicking. Oh my gosh, it's aggravating. Cool. Very often, that's it. All right, guys. So, needless to say, did not expect for that to turn out the way it did. I was hoping to jump in the TBM and take her out for a spin, but we're going to have to figure some things out with her, get her lined out. But appreciate you guys who swung in and check on me. All that fun stuff. Good seeing you. We'll probably jump on maybe a little later tonight and find something to get into. But other than that, guys, appreciate you swinging by, and we'll see you later.